What's good, y'all? What's good, YouTube? Jeez, I am so spent. What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Golden 83, and I am here to do the word from the ancestors reading for the sign of Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, you guys are third on the list. Hope you guys have been enjoying your energy wave this week and possibly receiving some enlightenment. All right. Remember, you guys, these are general messages, not personal. So take what resonates and pass the rest to the next. Okay? So, with that being said, y'all know how the ancestor reads go. We're going to start with the Urban Tarot. I'm going to pick one from the top, one from the bottom, and one energetically from the middle to see where your energy is right now as your ancestors watch you from the great beyond. Okay? Now I'm going to go here for the last one. Okay, so let's see where you guys are now, and then we will clarify with the everyday tarot. We have the Queen of Disc, the Matriarch. We have the Hierophant. And we have the Ten of Wands. Okay. Got a little bit of a mixed bag here, if you will, Aquarius, which is just keeping up with the theme of the signs today. I'm not going to say of this week, but of today with the ancestor reads. It's been quite a mixed bag. Okay. So, Queen of Disc, the Matriarch. Okay. I feel as though, Aquarius, you may be thinking of a motherly figure. This may be coming across primarily, and this is for some of you, it looks like there's going to be a couple of different energies here. I think because Mother's Day is coming up, maybe you are trying to think of something for Mother's Day, okay? And trying to do something special for that special lady in your life, primarily your mom, okay? Or for some of you, maybe you admire your mother at this time, as she is possibly the matriarch, if not your mother, maybe your grandmother, possibly, a little bit older, okay? And I literally lost what it was that I was going to say. So the energy possibly has changed, okay, very quickly. All right. Nonetheless, there's something special that you want to do for someone, okay? Like I said, Mother's Day coming down the line soon, I believe May 8th, okay? We then have the Hierophant. I think I'm getting it back now. You have the Hierophant here. For some of you, it could be something of you feel a little bit burdened with this Ten of Wands. Usually it's talking about carrying a lot of burden or responsibilities, things of that nature, okay? For some of you, you could be admiring your mother because of the things she's had to sacrifice for you, okay? Either her sacrificing to provide for you, and you really just want to repay that debt to her, okay? That's for some of you. For others of you, you could have this situation where there's someone over you, either a motherly figure or your mother, who is primarily kind of like that saying of mama knows best, in a sense. which I believe is actually a song as well. Mama Knows Best. Um, where your mother tends to pretty much be in the Hierophant, made in a Hierophant type characteristic where the Hierophant knows a lot, is full of wisdom, if you will, or she has bestowed a lot of wisdom onto you. Okay. We have a priest here, with the Hierophant being here. And so possibly religion is a very huge factor within your life. Okay. Maybe for some of you, I'm hearing that because religion has played a huge part in your life, primarily because of this matriarch being very high on religion, and maybe you're burdened by whether or not you want to stick with the religion you were born into, um, as you are now becoming maybe more spiritual than religious. Okay, and maybe it's a little bit burdensome on you because you're kind of getting a little bit of backlash for, let's say, not wanting to go to church, or you don't go to church. And so it could be leading up to Easter coming up this upcoming weekend. And maybe it's a tradition that everyone goes to church, and then dinner, maybe at your grandmother's house or something like that, and you actually don't want to participate. And so people are kind of judging you because of the fact that you don't want to go. Um, People need to respect others' religion or beliefs, okay? If you're now grown, you don't have to do the normal tradition. If you have to work on Easter, then you have to work on Easter. There's no way around it, okay? I grew up Baptist, okay, in my family. I grew up in a Baptist household. My grandmother was Baptist, my mother was Baptist, and so I no longer represent Baptist traditions. I am more spiritual. I am not religious. I am not going to quote scripture and things of that nature to people. I don't walk around carrying a Bible. I am spiritual. Okay, as you can see, I am here doing tarot. Okay, so but I am also 38, going on 39 years old, and I will not be, shunned or guilt tripped into the fact that I do not follow or, pray to God. I respect all religions, okay? I believe there is a higher power. I'm just not going to put a label on what that higher power is, okay? Would you shun somebody who worships Buddha or the Cabal or things of that nature? No, because it would be disrespectful. So you should be respectful of someone who is, deciding to leave, not completely leave religion behind, but does not totally wrap themselves up in religion and let them create their own belief system, okay? And so this is possibly something, of course, as it happens in every family, that people are pretty much preconditioned as children to go to church and or wherever your holy place is, and you're supposed to stay with that all the way up until you die. And it's like, no, there's people who were born into a Jewish religion and are no longer Jewish, okay? What can you do? They have their right to choose, okay? And so do not let that do not let those beliefs of your family burden you, okay? It's not your burden to carry, okay? Especially if it's something just as simple as you have to work, okay? You have to work. You have to work in order to pay your bills. In order to pay your bills, you have to work. And so your job, especially if you work retail, I've worked retail before, and if you have to work the holiday, you have to work the holiday. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it or anywhere around it, okay? It just has to be done. And so They don't care. They're not going to give you off for Easter. Okay, now some places they will if it's based off of religion alone, but it's usually off of a very high profile religion, not just because you're Christian. Okay, so nonetheless, we're not going to stay on this for too long. I don't really like getting into religion on my channel, but to each its own. I do not discriminate against anyone's religion. You are free to believe in what you choose to believe in, okay? Just as much as I am allowed to believe in what I believe in, okay? So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and reshuffle, as I do feel the energy has changed yet again during a reading. It's happened pretty much for every reading so far, Capricorn being the last for this week. So we're going to shuffle one more time for you guys, Aquarius, as something obviously has transpired during your reading. Okay. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and cut 3 times. And let's go ahead and do like we did the Urban Tarot. 1 from the top for the Queen of Disc. 1 from the bottom for the Hierophant. And 1 energetically from the middle for the Ten of Wands. Okay. And so let's see what we have for the Hierophant. Yep. So the Queen of Disc, which is Queen of Pentacles, is being clarified by the Sun. Okay, by the Sun. There's a child on a horse with a wand in their hand. Okay. And so, like I was saying, this person either, like I said, is either a mother or a grandmother, possibly. Okay, again, we're talking about a matriarch. You see the children around the table, and others around the table. This is someone with high regard. Okay, someone that's been around you, obviously with the Sun here, since you were a child. Okay, they are very close to you. I am feeling a grandmotherly vibe here. Okay, and so in the past, possibly, Aquarius, you have always been there. Okay, you are possibly the favorite grandchild, if you will. You are the light of their life. You're their favorite. Okay, you could be their only grandchild, possibly. Don't have to be. Get in where you fit in. Okay, but they still look at you as that little boy or little girl that could do no wrong, and so they expect you to move and do whenever they call. Okay, and so, but they have to remember that you are now an adult. Okay, it's not like that anymore. You do have a life. You do have things that you have to do, and you can promise to see them another time. But like I said, if this is in reference to the holiday coming up, maybe you're considering seeing them for Mother's Day or the weekend after Easter, things of that nature. They expect you to be there for every single holiday, their birthday, every holiday, things of that nature. And you just can't do it. You have responsibilities, okay? And so it is, like I said, weighing on you very heavily. And unfortunately, the older generation has a tendency of sometimes guilt tripping the younger generation because of the fact of their seniority. Okay, that's primarily what they're doing, is guilt tripping you because of seniority and because of how they feel obligation, okay, because of their title in the family. Okay, but will they be able to explain why you possibly, I'm not saying you will lose your job, but if you lose your job because grandma wants me to be at church for Christmas. It's, I mean, not for Christmas, for Easter. Okay. You can't explain that. Okay. So sometimes they have to be able to be a little less selfish, and understand that you are no longer that little child anymore. You had to grow up eventually, okay, and have your own responsibilities and have your own life, okay. Maybe you tried to get off for the holiday and you weren't able to. Okay, it is what it is. Like I said, especially if you work in retail, there's no way you can get off for every holiday unless you pre scheduled like a month in advance. Okay. So again, and it's only for this one person. It's not for like the whole family. It's just for one person. Okay. And so it's like, I can't make it this time, but I got you on. I'll see you after. Okay. It is what it is. You can't please everybody. Okay. Do not let that hinder you, and do not allow them to guilt trip you. Okay. Next, we have the Queen of Swords clarifying the Hierophant. Okay. Queen of Swords clarifying the Hierophant. Okay. So, I feel as though with this Queen of Swords, you have nothing to worry about, as someone else will vouch for you. Okay. As they know and can confirm what it is that you have to do. And this could be your mother, okay, possibly, or an aunt or something like that, or, someone of another high regard that will let them know. They already know what you have to do. And so they will vouch for you and say, look, he's not trying to dodge you or anything like that. And he doesn't really owe you anything. He or she, get in where you fit in. This feels like a very specific energy for someone in particular, okay? So I hope you get a chance to see this reading and it resonates for you. But they are able to go, and they will, be there on your behalf, and they know that you will be, at the family dinner, or however you plan on showing up. If you plan on coming to see them the following weekend, then it is what it is. But they cannot and will not. This person will not allow them to try to guilt trip you to make you feel bad, because you have a life to live, and it's not fair for them to try to guilt trip you, to make you do whatever it is that they want to do just to see you for one day. Okay? So, that being said, we have the Nine of Wands clarifying the Ten of Wands. Okay? So, you lose a wand, which is good. You lose a wand if you think about it. Okay, 10 of Wands being clarified by the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is talking about wounded warrior, with the 10 of Wands talking about just feeling oppressed, and feeling like you are carrying the weight of the world, in your hands and on your shoulders. Whereas with this 9 of Wands, you drop one of those wands and you put a shield up around yourself. Okay, basically saying, you know what, I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to entertain anybody anymore. I'm not obligated to anybody. I'm obligated to myself. And so, you don't feel too bad about it, because you are handling your responsibilities. Okay, and you have to take care of yourself. If something happens where you're not able to provide for yourself, is this matriarch going to take you in? Probably not. Okay. Then they'll make you feel bad again and say, oh, well, you should have just went on ahead and did what you needed to do. It wasn't that serious, but you made it that serious. It's going to be a back and forth. So to avoid all of that, you are going to end up putting a wall up and saying, you know what, I don't have to entertain this anymore, because I have bigger things to worry about. Okay. And so you're not going to let it hinder you, and you shouldn't let it hinder you. Okay. You're not a child anymore, okay? And you're not their child, okay? You are a adult. You are a relative of theirs, okay? And they are your relative. You are not obligated to them, okay? So it is just them seeking attention. It's something different if it's coming from a genuine place, but when someone tries to make you feel bad about handling your business and taking care of yourself as you should, there's an underlying issue there, okay? It is their unfortunate need of attention and possible loneliness, okay? They're not telling you everything as the reason why they are attaching themselves to you and kind of somewhat attacking you for not being there, okay? And maybe they haven't seen you in a while, and maybe that's why they're acting the way that they are, okay? And that's understandable, but instead of making you feel guilty, they should just say that, okay? So with that being said, let's go into the last shuffle here of the Ancestor deck, and we will refer to the bottom card after we cut to see what your ancestors want you to work on. Okay, Aquarius? And Aquarius, it almost feels as though your energy is somewhat mimicking that of Aries from last month. Their issues and what they were going through. So you may want to go and look at the Aries. I can't remember which week it was, but you may want to go back and refer to those, as you might get some additional information from those to kind of round out this reading here, okay, on how to press forward. All right. So with that being said, your card on the bottom of the deck, Aquarius, is back to basics. Back to basics, okay? Simplify, reduce, and center, okay? Simplify, reduce, and center. Back to basics. So basically with that, it's a feeling of, as you see, this person is at the back of the line, okay? You see everybody else marching forward, but this person is hanging back, okay? Centering yourself, okay, and really simplifying your life, okay, reducing what is not necessary, which is very significant as we saw the reduction of wands, 10 of wands going to a 9 of wands energy, okay? And so you are taking away a responsibility that is not yours to have, okay? People have to look at the line, as we have the line here, of a family, okay? You have a matriarch, a grandmother, grandfather, you have a mother, father, and then you have son, daughter, or, children, okay? The children are here. Grandparents are here, okay? You can't expect a 5-year-old to take care of a 90-year-old, okay? You can't expect a 20-year-old to take care of a 72-year-old. That is the responsibility of their mother and father, okay? Not the responsibility of the grandchildren, all right? So people have to look at the schematics of what a genetic line is, of what lineage is, the responsibility, where that responsibility goes towards, or who it goes towards, or who is obligated to who. Your parent really is not even obligated to their parent, but in a sense of a caretaker aspect, they would be, okay, not you. And if your parents have brothers or siblings or a sister, they then fall in line to take care of the grandparent, not you. It never comes down to you as the child, or anyone for that matter who is the grandchild, okay? So just needing to explain that for some reason, okay, is necessary. Back to basics. Page number 18, equaling out to 9, talking about wrapping it up like we are in your reading here, but also in a sense of wrapping up that necessary end to obligation to other people, okay? You have to start moving on your own. All right. Um, Having assistance from family members when needed is fine. It's not codependency in that sense. Um, but you are now moving on your own. You are now an adult. You are no longer a child, okay? And you have other responsibilities that are outside of your family dynamic that they need to start respecting. The same as, like I said, possibly with Aries, okay, as we talked about before. So let's go into the book, which says back to basics, simplify, reduce, and center. The ancestors speak. Your life has been so busy lately, but now it's time to stop rushing. Center yourself and look at simplifying your life. Consider realigning with the basics and connecting with the essentials. Do you need all the material things in your life? Are they fulfilling you or taking up room and using excess energy? Can you downsize, simplify, and donate or get rid of items you don't need or use? This card may indicate travel or moving home, okay? So maybe you're finding a new home, maybe, or you have maybe got a new apartment or things of that nature. You are really busy, okay? You are growing up, you are handling things, okay? Maybe you are getting rid of some things or moving some things around. Maybe you've been working so much and you're going to be tired and you need some sleep and you don't have time to deal with family events and things of that nature. You are allowed to do that. If you choose sleep over spending time with family, that is not a sin, okay? Just saying. Nonetheless, now again, I'm not going to get into religion on here because I don't need nobody shouting at me in the comments. Okay, but nonetheless, if you do, I'm just going to block you. But nonetheless, it is what it is, okay? You shouldn't have to explain yourself to anybody, when you're grown, okay? When you start paying your own bills and your own rent and things of that nature and putting clothes on your back, you should not have to explain yourself to anybody, okay? So with that being said, we're on the last shuffle for your angel message, for your last message of support. We will go ahead and cut from here, okay? And let's pick one energetically out for you, Aquarius. Like we're going to go here. And your message is from Caressa. Caressa is your angel, Aquarius, saying you are at the end of a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort you and to guide you to your next step. Happiness awaits you now. You are at the end of a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort you and to guide you to your next step. Happiness awaits you now. Okay? You are at the end of the cycle of your life. We talked about the number 9. 9 here. Deduction of 10 to 9 of wands. Okay? You are at the cycle, ending of a cycle of adolescence. You are at an end of a cycle of being obligated to anybody because you are now obligated to yourself. And you can choose who you want to be obligated to. No one is obligated to you, and you are not obligated to anyone else. You are able to move and go as you please, and you should do so. Okay, Aquarius? So that being said, you guys have one more reading this week. Tomorrow, tap into the soul. Until next time, peace.